Hello everyone. Welcome back. It's Sue here with Sculpted Onyx. Today we are going to be doing a full set. So I haven't done a full set in a while and I wanted to show one because I think I've gotten better at them since my last video. So first things first, you're going to clip the nails, and then if that's necessary you'll cut the nails, and if not then you can just go ahead and file the nails to a short shape. You do want to leave a little bit of free edge so that the form can fit nice and snug underneath the fingernail. So after you've got your length and shape down, we'll go in with a medium sanding band, and to remove the shine off the natural nail, any dead skin on the nail plate, just to clean up the nail a bit. I use this on a low speed. You don't need to do too much here. You definitely don't want to be too aggressive because you are working on the natural nail. So make sure that it's on a low speed and you just get the shine off the nail and then move on to the next step. To get a more detailed clean of the nail, you can go in with an enhancement prep bit like this, or another type of cuticle bit, and really get into that cuticle area and those sidewalls to remove all the dead skin like on the nail plate, on the fingertips, so that when you go in with your product, it will adhere really well. This client did have a bit of like extra dead skin, so I did go in with this really small diamond cuticle bit to really get into the cuticle area and sidewalls to really give that her nail plate and her like fingertips a really like detailed clean where there's like absolutely like no skin. This step isn't always necessary for people, but it's kind of an extra step I do if I feel like the sanding band and my enhancement prep bit didn't get enough like dead skin off her nail. So when you're done with using the cuticle bits, you can go ahead with your cuticle nipper and just clip off any dead skin that's still left behind if necessary. She does have a little bit here, so I'm just going to go in and clean that up really nicely so that her nails look nice and clean. After I'm done with the cuticle nipper, I'll go in with a diamond ball bit and exfoliate her fingertip, her cuticle area, sidewall area, just to make sure, again, everything is smooth and clean so that when we put our product on, everything adheres well and there's no extra debris getting in the way, and that her fingers are smooth and nice. So now that the nails are prepped, we're going to go in with our acrylic application here. And so for this nail, since our nails are going to be like pretty much on the shorter side, and almond shape. For the pinky, I did like one bead to like kind of get that base shape and length for her nail, and then I'll go in with a couple more beads to get my structure the way I need it to be for this nail specifically. Some things to keep in mind when you're doing your acrylic application is that you don't need to focus on how many beads you're using. Use as many beads as you need to. I know some people feel like they have to do everything in one bead or two beads. I do. Everyone's fingers are different, so like even on the same hand, their fingers are different lengths and shapes and stuff and sizes, so you have to just use as many beads as that fingernail, that specific fingernail you're working on needs. So don't worry about the amount of beads you're using. Use as many as you need. So if you only need one, that's great. If you need 5, that's great too, as long as you get your length, the shape, and the structure the way that you need it to be. That's all that really matters. And another thing you want to focus on is the cuticle area. So with that finger, her ring finger, I placed the acrylic like in the middle of the nail, and then I got my length and shape down, and then I went in with a second bead and went towards her cuticle area, and then really making sure that the cuticle area is nice and flush to the nail, so that there won't be as much chance of like lifting, because it's already so flush to the nail and like how do you say, like smooth. I can't talk, sorry. But again, for the middle finger, which is a bit bigger, take a bead kind of like halfway down the nail, half covering her nail plate and then half on the actual form itself, and take your second bead, which will be your cuticle bead. Really work in that cuticle area, make sure it's nice and smooth, it's flush, and then you'll work that acrylic down. You'll be pointing her nails down so that the acrylic can flow down naturally, and that'll help you with shaping the nail, and it won't be working against you if you have the client's nail like pointing down. And then for this finger, I pretty much did, since it is a smaller finger, I did the first bead with a pretty big bead, and I used the entire bead to sculpt the entire length and shape of her nail. And again, the amount of beads you use for the acrylic application really depends on the client's individual finger. So for some of the nails here, I was using 1 bead, 2 beads, 3 beads, 4 beads. So again, it all just depends on the length and shape and size of the client's natural nail. Once the acrylic has cured, we'll remove the forms and start filing. The client wanted a short almond shape today, so to achieve this shape, it's best to go back and forth on each side of the nail. Filing one side too much may result in the nail being uneven or lopsided. So we're going to use a fine carbide bit to remove any extra bulk on her nails, make sure that her nails they look natural, and you know, they look like her nail. So we can really get into that cuticle area, those sidewalls, make sure everything, all that product is nice and flush so that there won't be any lifting. You can use a medium bit as well if you feel like your acrylic is a little bit more lumpy, but because I laid the acrylic, pretty smooth and evenly just from the acrylic application, a fine carbide bit will do just fine in this case. And then going back in with the carbide, or not carbide, the sanding band. I use the sanding band instead of like a buffing block because I feel like it's, again, when you're using e-file for these things, you can get a more precise work done. So we'll go in and use the sanding band to kind of like etch the nail, remove any lumps and bumps, and then prep the nail for the gel polish later. And then I'm going to go in with this diamond cone bit to really seal in that cuticle area to make sure that there isn't any lifting around the cuticle area and sidewalls, and that the acrylic is really flush to those areas so that when her nails grow out, they'll grow out very seamlessly, and there won't be like a huge like bump or line of like demarcation where her natural nail is and the acrylic is. And then we'll just go in with our hand file again, just to refine the shape of her nails to make sure they are exactly how she wants them to be. To the design, we'll go ahead and cleanse her nails, make sure there's no lint or anything. I'm going in with a white gel polish. Any gel polish that's white will do. We're kind of doing a like abstract, like an earth toned abstract design, so I'm gonna go in with the white here and just make a bunch of like random lines on all of her nails. And then I'll go in with the other colors, kind of like do the same thing. But one thing I want to point out about a design like this is that definitely don't overthink it. It is an abstract, so it doesn't have to be perfect. The lines can be crooked and uneven, things like that, because that's kind of the point. So go in, just create a line, have a little bit of swirls in it, and then just do that with all of the colors that you use. So I cure the nails in between each color that I'm using, so that white polish there is cured, and then I'm going to go in with the brown polish. I believe it's the D&D 051. Nice like chocolatey brown color, and go ahead and just create some more swirly type lines on her nails, and then I'll cure that before I go in with my other color. the final color that I'll be using is called Movie Buff by OPI. So again, going with our third line, and then just place it on the nail. Just cover up whatever area you want to cover up. Very simple, like you don't really have to think too much about it, which is why I love designs like this. Again, I cannot draw, so like abstract designs are my favorite. You know, because I do not like drawing, and I tried to do it. I thought I could be one of those nail techs that could like draw a flower, draw characters. Nope, can't do it. I don't want to. So designs like these are perfect for me. I also want to point out that just because you're a nail technician doesn't mean you have to like know how to draw either. Like I feel like a lot of techs feel pressured to draw certain things or know how to draw. There's so many different ways that you can do nail designs, so as long as you just like post, you know, the type of nail art you like, you're gonna attract clients that like that same type of nail art. And then if you do have a client that wants something like hand drawn, you know, just be honest with them, let them know like, hey, that's not really, you know, like my specialty. I do designs like such and such, so if you want to do something like that, then feel free to book. Otherwise, you know, they can, you know, do some more research and find a tech that draws, you know, what they need them to draw. But don't feel pressured, again, to be perfect at like everything, you know, like nail techs are individuals and we're allowed to have our specialties. My specialty is not drawing, so So as you see with this nail, I just like couldn't figure out, I just didn't like how it was coming out. So like I know I said not to overthink it, but I just did not like this nail, and I just felt like, not that I didn't like the nail, I just didn't like the way the design was coming out on this specific nail. But at the same time, it's like, again, it's an abstract design. It does not have to be perfect. So I kind of just told myself that, and it was like, all right, just freaking put the color on there, make it look nice, and then move on to the next step. And I still erase some. Do as I say, not as I do. To finish off the design, I'm just going to top coat all her nails, cure, and then add cuticle oil. If you guys have any questions for me or anything like that, feel free to leave a comment and I'll be sure to get back to you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye!